that possession for Xavier.
Indeed. Out of the state of Alabama.
To that open shooter.
Watson working a little pick and roll, but Green could not find him. Duke.
Especially a guy who doesn't get a lot of minutes.
Pretty good show there defensively by Jason Carter coming out. He's a really smart basketball player, 25 and white. There's another. He is an outstanding talent. He was thought of. He does it with good young recruits like a guy like Jones, but then also transfers and grad transfers on the other end.
Plus you get those young guys like Zach Fremantle they play more mature.
Yep.
Than their
absolutely.
They're really starting to look like what Travis Steele envisioned when he took over a couple of years ago.
No doubt.
They play together.
Reed.
Ed Cooley told us, those switching deep.
Posting up. Working on Nichols Jr. Smart, wise choice. Just could not get it to go.
Nichols is long. Gant, same thing. So, Carter's going to have to try to use more of his girth, his body, to get into them than just fading. That's what happens.
Nichols alley-ooping for this.
That makes that pass easy.
Jones feeding Fremantle. Briefly in the game with Creighton, but this is a big moment for him without Bynum available. Fremantle, quick outlet to David Duke.
Providence has some nice flow right now, Timmy. The
Buckler is coming to the game, number 14 for the Friars out of Melbourne Beach, Florida. Duke, boy, Scruggs.
Forget that he's on the floor and they're trying to find their game.
Already has 4 rebounds. That fall away is C titles.
They could shoot it a little bit, huh?
Oh, big time. You couldn't play for Rick Bird unless you could shoot.
You have to make a layup?
Yeah.
Shoot a three.
The free throw line, they've gotten there 10 times already, making 6 of them. That's how they've stayed in this game.
When you're efficient with how you move, sometimes it could be misconstrued as being very fast. If you want a chance to win a game.
Well, a guy like Dwayne Odom can really help Scruggs and others in the backcourt. Really good shots and knocked down a pair of threes already.
It does hurt. Big Stanley scored 749 points last year. To being a part of what's happening here at Xavier, they say the best thing about him was he just wanted to know he could still stay around the team when he was rehabbing. I mean, that tells you the kind of kid he is. He wants to be here for his team still, even though he can't play.
Yeah, well, these protocols, it makes it tough. You just don't know. Quick timeout by Cooley. I suspect that getting Duke another quick.
He's got some old school in him, but he also understands the kids of today.
29-21, largest lead of 8 for the Musketeers.
That's the guy. Hall of Fame shooters throughout my years of playing basketball, and they say the same thing. Sometimes your mind is the thing that's keeping. He never seems like he's in trouble and never out of control. To go get the rebound with 2 hands, most bigs would foul trying to get that rebound over the back.
After the curl.
The kids call that a heat check, Timmy. That's what they're calling it nowadays.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Reed surveying and gives it up to Duke. Little show and go.
Trying to protect him a little bit.
Fremantle. Unable to get that one to go, and Duke keep Providence in gear. They trailed at one point by 8. They whittled it down to 2. Shot clock at 2 as this one's launched, and they're for PC. Duke goes crossover on the drive.
Only been playing about 10 minutes a game or so. A young fella, and now you bring your defender, but because David Duke, if that's the worst thing he does, I think Eddie Cooley will be fine with that today.
Scruggs up and under.
Their defense is terrific. And if you're tentative, then you don't give your big an opportunity to go get an offensive rebound.
There's a turnover by Wilshire. That's the 5th overall. Duke.
We talk about making the simple play, sharing the ball, but defensively, stop the ball. That is so important when a guy like David Duke's coming at you.
Game clock differential. Right at 15 seconds. Great pressure. Any doubt that he's going to take this play? Gave it up. And on the ball fake, kept them in the game. Down in a late run at the end of the first half. Carter and Fremantle can't get together, and they turn it over. Duke almost lost his dribble. Talk about substance. How about that move defensively? Duke, oh, they ran away from him. Oh, you can't do that.
You don't foul a shooter, and you don't leave them all alone.
I realize you had a switch there, Donnie, but nobody came over to switch. Jones really pressuring Allen Breed. Hand off the dribble, Duke. Fremantle with that rebound. Paul Scruggs gives it up to Johnson again. Away. Watson clears it. Duke. Beautiful move. Work by Carter to come over and help defensively.
Well, he might have gotten slapped.
That have been committed by the Musketeers. Watson. Forced talking about. David Duke's got it up against the clock. He's going to have to jack it up. Little teardrop. Really helps to get a veteran player that has a skill set, and he's the perfect transfer to plug in if you're Xavier.
Talked to Kevin Willard, and those were probably the two guys who liked it the least. In that area, that's who they recruit.
Is out there as well, and Paul Scruggs and Fremantle make up the 5 on the deck for the rerun-donned Xavier Musketeers at
times, but he's such an athletically gifted player.
Fremantle, be the next Kiki Tandy, perhaps, who was a difference maker, particularly a year ago. Watson, 5 on the floor for Providence. That's a good read. That's a good in traffic. Can't need some help. That's the right guy to find right there. Duke, count it in our game. Kunkel again finding Scruggs from downtown.
Talking about earlier, Timmy, where you just can't throw the ball anywhere. You know, there's going to be some help back there.
Kunkel, Fremantle keeping it alive. Carter down. Kunkel, beautiful pass to Fremantle. Down.
Kunkel, just a nice, cute win you can.
And I think it puts a lot of pressure on the home team, too. You know, I mean, it really does. It's going to be Duke and Scruggs. Both very special.
Or retreating. When you get caught in the middle, that's what happens. You're playing catch-up, and it's a layup at the other end.
And he has handled as best he can the load that is Nate Watson. Duke, count it.
Line coming through, high post coming through. You have to talk.
Kunkel. And he gets it into Duke's hands. Oh, Reeves will
hydrated in the wind. I know not for you.
In moderation. Yeah. There's Duke. Beautiful. 70-66. Scruggs tries to answer. And the quick tap out gets North Florida. Sat out after transferring. And he's got versatility in his game. And that 3 by Nate Johnson. It's transfer on transfer here.
That was big. I mean, that was NBA range. David Duke was right in his face. I got to live with that.
Here comes the trap. Guys that could make the difference. Kunkel again. Wrap around. Over to Scruggs on the wing. There's a ball fake. Out.